Hi guys, my name's Laura and today for my first video I am going to do 25 bookish facts about me. So I'm going to start it. Fact number 1. My favourite genres are fantasy and contemporary. I don't even know why. Everyone likes a good contemporary, and by everyone I mean most people, because my friend probably doesn't, but most people like a good contemporary once in a while, so why not? And fantasy, I just really started liking fantasy this year when my friend got me to read a fantasy book, and they are amazing. So that is my explanations. So yeah. Fact number 2. I still have not read the Harry Potter series in 2016. I had 17 and a half years to read it. Technically I've not, because I couldn't read when I was 1, but yeah. And I still have not read them. I have read the first 3. I plan to read the last 4 before the end of next year. I started halfway through the 4th one but got a slump, so stopped. But I want to finish them before the end of 2017, so fingers crossed. Fact number 3. I have liked reading for as long as I can remember, but I just kind of stopped, and then I remember in 2014 I read the Gallagher Girls series when I was 15 years old, and I loved it. I read it 5 times in the past 2 years, and that got me back into reading. So yeah. Fact number 4. My OTPs are Zami from the Gallagher Girls series, Everlark from the Hunger Games, Clace from the Mortal Instruments, Mare and Cal from Red Queen, and Dorian and Selena from Throne of Glass. I've only read the first 2 in the Throne of Glass series. It didn't work out in the Crowd of Midnight. I did not like the ship in Crowd of Midnight. I'm just going to point that out right now. But yeah, apparently it doesn't work out. But that is my ship. So, and it's breaking. But what are you going to do? It's very depressing for me. Fact number 5. I have met Ali Carter, an author who's probably my favourite author. Not many people have heard of her. I have read all of her young adult books and I absolutely love them. She's the author of Gallagher Girls, Embassy Row and High Society, and she's an amazing author and I love her. She's probably one of my favourite authors, which I've already said, but I also really like Cassandra Clare now, and I obviously love Susan Collins because she wrote The Hunger Games. And yeah, so I've met Ali Carter. Fact number 6. I prefer hardback covers to paperback covers because I think they're prettier and they stand up on their own without falling over. But I think paperbacks are easier to read. But at the same time, I'm learning to read hardbacks better, like easy to make it easier. So I don't know. I prefer hardbacks, but paperbacks good too. So yeah. Fact 7. I do not like Kindles. Technology is taking over, and I don't mind that because I live on technology. I cannot live without my phone or my iPad. But I do not like Kindles because books are the only thing. It's a book. Like, I need a living object. I don't want it on a screen. So yeah, I would never get a Kindle, no matter how many people suggest, oh, just get a Kindle. No, not happening. I do not like Kindles. I feel like I'm offending people right now. If you have a Kindle and it works for you, great, but I like having a hard copy. Fact number 8. I do not have a bookshelf. I want a bookshelf so badly, but I do not have one. I have a shelf. It's a small shelf and it has 12 or 14, I cannot remember, 14, might be 14 books on it. And then I have a little section in my, like, dress thing, I don't know what it's called. It's like a TV stand where there's another 10 books. Then I have a drawer full of books, and I have 2 boxes which are almost full of books, and another box which is also full of books. I don't have a bookshelf. I really want a bookshelf, but I don't have one because I share a room. It's very depressing. Number 9. I hate having different covers of books. I had the Mortal Instruments, and I bought the first 2 in a different cover, and then when I went to buy the 3rd one, they didn't have the cover that I had, so I had to buy the other covers, which they didn't originally have when I bought the first one. This is very confusing. But so what I ended up doing is buying the first 2 in the covers that I had with the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th one. I really don't like having different covers. I have it for the Hunger Games and I really don't like it. So I'm going to buy the right covers. So yeah. Fact number 10. I find it difficult to imagine places in books sometimes, especially if it's like set in like modern time. Like, okay, I've used this like 5 times now. The Mortal Instruments is set in New York. I have never been to New York, no matter how badly I want to go. So I don't know what it's like. So I just kind of imagine it, and I don't imagine it very well. But there's all the places which I find difficult to imagine, like if it's a fictional world. But I did imagine District 12 in a certain way, and when I watched the first movie, certain bit of it was exactly how I imagined it, which I was very proud of. But yeah, I find it difficult to imagine places in books. Fact number 11, I get super distracted super easily, which is not good for a student, for starters, and not good for a reader either, because it stops me from reading. I want to read a book, but then I'll not read and I'll end up being on my iPad for half an hour to 5 hours and watching videos and booktubers and everything else. So it's very annoying. Fact 12, I have had the biggest reading slump ever. I've had about, I want to say, 15 reading slumps this year. There was one time when I was reading a book and I didn't read for 2 weeks because I wasn't getting into it. I carried on reading it and it was good, the story was okay, but it wasn't like the biggest thing in the world. But and I wanted to read 100 books this year and I've only read 43, so that is my reading slump. Yeah, it's not good. Fact 13, I have always wanted to write my own book. I don't want to be an author, well, I want to be an actress, which is probably why I'm really, really weird. But my second career choice is being an author, and I really want to write a book, and it's on my bucket list. And I have a book idea right now. I just need to think of stuff I have the beginning, and I have the end, and I have a few things to connect in the middle, but I don't have the whole middle. So I'm going to think it through, and I'm hoping to write it in the summer. I don't care if it gets published or not, I just want to write a whole book that is long enough to be classed as a book. Fact 14, I have fan accounts on Instagram. I have one for the Hunger Games, which I don't really go on anymore because now that the films have stopped going out, people just have stopped posting, and so have I. It's very depressing, but no one likes my pictures, everyone's unfollowing, it's like that kind of thing. But I have another one for the Gallicles account, Gallicles fandom even, and I have a Bookish in general account called Bookish_Laura. So yeah, I am currently reading Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and it is so good. I'm on chapter 18, like I'm about to read chapter 18, and I've been reading it for a week and a half, but like I said, I've had a lot of reading slumps this year, and I'm currently like not in a reading slump as such, but I have to force myself to read. Like, I literally have to make myself pick up the book and read. And I'll be able to read, but I have to have the energy to do it. And I don't have a lot of energy. So, but I'm really getting into it. It's so good. It is about a girl who is a cyborg living in New Beijing. And, yeah, there's a prince, which is all good. And it is kind of like a retelling of Cinder? I want to say retelling Cinder. It's a retelling of Cinderella. And it's a series called The Lunar Chronicles. I don't know if I already said that. But yeah, and there's the next one is Scarlet, which is about Red Riding Hood, based on Red Riding Hood. And then it's Crest, which is Rapunzel, and Winter, which is Snow White. And I am really excited, and I could not wait to finish this. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of next week, so Friday. That is my aim. I don't think I'm gonna do it because I go back to college, but yeah. Fact 16. I am one of those people who have loads of unread books in their box or the shelf or whatever, and then I go out and buy new books and I read the new books before I read the books I already have. I have a book which I've had for about 2 years, which just sounds really good. It's Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and it sounds really good, and I really want to read it. And I did start reading it, but it was when I was not an avid reader and long chapters put me off, so I stopped reading it. And then I still have it, and I still want to read it, but I still buy more books. And I've actually just bought another Morgan Matson book, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, which I plan to read after I've read Cinder. So, but I do want to read it, but I'm not reading it. I just read the books I just bought instead, because why not? Fact 17. I find it difficult to read books which are forced upon me, which is fab for an English literature student and everything. But I had to read Wuthering Heights for English, and I couldn't do it. It didn't help that it was written in the Victorian era, so it was more of a different language anyway. But I was putting it off, so I ended up listening to the audiobook, which was a lot easier to do because it took me 3 months to do it. But I did it, and once it finished, I liked the story. I only liked 3 characters in the actual book, but I liked the story. So yeah, if I get a book forced upon me, I end up putting it off. So Fact 18. Starting this year, I have started like writing my books on like little papers and putting them in this jar, like this. And I folded them up. Let's see which book this is. Okay, that's just weird. That's Wuthering Heights. That's what I've been doing. If you can see it, it's backwards. But yeah, I've been putting them in, and I've got 43 books in there, and that just fell back out. Yeah. Fact 19. The first book I ever cried at was See How They Run by Ellie Carter. And I cried at it. It was this year that I read it, and it was amazing, but I cried. I'm not over it. And the first book I've ever weeped at was Sword of Glass by Victoria Aveyard. And I'm still not over that one either, because I had to put the book down because I couldn't stop crying. And then my brother was like, why are you crying? It's just a book. And I'm like, well. So yeah, if you have read that, you might know when I weep. Not everyone has wept or cried at it, but I did for like the first time ever. So yeah, Fact 20. I always seem to love the main character in a book the most. I don't know if everyone just standardly loves the main character in a book or if it's just me, but I love the main character. Like, the person who is writing it can, like, yeah. Fact 21. I have already chosen the books I am taking to university with me next year. I don't want to take a lot, obviously, because I'll hopefully be buying more there. So I just want to take the Gallagher Girl series, the Hunger Games series, and the Mortal Instruments series because they are my 3 favourite series and I love them and I could not leave them behind. Because I don't trust my sister, so yeah. Fact 22. I have an irregular reading pattern. Like, some people will read a book like before they go to bed. I don't. I read whenever I want to. Like, I will read during the day. I will read before I go to sleep. I will read first thing in the morning, which I have actually done recently. But I don't really have a set time to read. Fact 21. I actually love young adult books, and I will be reading them in my 30s because they are amazing. And it depresses me that I'm almost 18 and I will feel awkward buying a young adult book because I am not a young adult. I am an adult, which also depresses me. So, but I will be reading them until I'm 30, so, and I don't care. And finally, fact 25. I have always dreamed of playing a main character in a book turned film. Like, I really, really want to play Cammy from Gallagher Girls if it ever becomes a movie, even though I am not American. And I really want to play Mare from Red Queen because that would be so cool, and I would absolutely love to play either one of those characters, or just in general any book character because it would be so amazing, and I just really want to do it. So, you know, if any of young adult books happen to becoming a movie recently, I am willing to do it. Just gonna point that out. So yeah, I really, really want to do it. And that is the end of my first video on YouTube, so I hope you liked it. Please comment and subscribe and like, and yeah, I'll post another video soon. Thanks for watching now, bye.